Hello. Greetings, nail people. Come on in. Come on in. Anybody who's not busy with clients, come on in. Hi, everybody. Hello. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Tina. Oh, I guess you shouldn't be quite asleep yet over there in Germany. Hello, everybody. All right. Greetings. Oh, Tina. Yes, the little nail mouse. Today we have Eeyore, because I'm feeling rather Eeyore-ish today. So today we have Eeyore. So, oh my gosh. First of all, I seriously think that I need to step back from the, this level of this table is weird. I want... No, that's obnoxious. Okay, let's adjust here. There we go. Hello, Colleen. All right, that's a little better. I wanted to be able to sit back, but I was too low. So yeah, I still don't have my little stage thing set up here at home. So on my couch is where you get me. So yeah, like I think that I seriously need to step back from the Facebook groups because there is some really repetitive questions that get asked in groups. And so if you are a member of a Facebook group or 10 or 20 or 50 or more, do yourself a favor. And when you have a question, utilize the search function in the group. So you can go to the group and you can search. Let's see here. I'll pull it up on my app. You can go to the group and you can search within the group. So if people have asked a question similar to what you are asking, you don't have to ask it again. So let's go to groups here. And let's see, groups. Now, let's pick a group here. How about, what group should we pick here? What group should we pick? Let's go with advanced nail techs. Okay. So here in the group advanced nail techs, right? Let's see if it'll focus. Okay, well up here in the bar where it says joined and add members and info and those kind of things, there's a little search eyeglass. If you touch the little search eyeglass, it'll say, enter a few keywords to search in this group. And then so you can type in, let's type in shellac. Just because I figure in almost any group, something will come about shellac. So it is searching for shellac in advanced nail techs. And here's a post from Marcy tagging Tracy Vinson, something about the Nail Tech Networking event to the Smokies. And here's a repost from CND. And here's Hotski to Chotsky shellac. Okay, so instead of at this point, unless you are posting a question about something that is so new, that nobody's going to have the answer to it, search in the groups first, because what happens is people eventually stop answering because they're like, dude, I've answered this question a million times. So search first. Then if you don't get exactly the answer you're looking for, then ask your question. So, what? Seriously? Why is my note? Oh, I give up on technology, you know? Can you invite me to this group? They don't accept because of the look of my Facebook profile. Yeah, I'll add you to some groups, Tina. which brings me to another point. As an admin of a couple of groups, it's okay to not have your picture up on your profile picture or whatever, but if you want to be active in nail groups, I would strongly suggest putting somewhere in your profile that you're a nail tech. So either the name of the salon you work in, or if you, for some reason, don't want people to know that, the nail school you went to, if you're in a place that uses licensing, something that says that you're a nail tech. Because like right now, I have 64 member requests sitting in the University of Nails group. All 64 of those people don't have anything publicly available on their profile that they're a nail tech. So if somebody asks to join the group and I can tell that they're a nail tech just from clicking on their name and looking at their page, then I can approve them right away. Otherwise, I have to have time to sit down, to message them, to ask if they're a nail tech, to get a response from them and all that. Yeah, I mean, have something, anything. And like Kate says, even if it's a meme about nails, that's your cover photo. Something that shows that you are a professional nail tech or a nail student, because then you can just be approved. If you don't have anything like that, then you have to wait until I can get to you. And frankly, I'm super busy and I don't have time to be messaging every single person who requests for the group because they can't be bothered to say they're a professional nail tech on their page. You don't have to say you're a professional nail tech on your page. Just don't expect to be, for it to be easy to join nail groups. It's kind of that simple. So, because it makes it hard. It's hard. And being an admin for groups is tough, especially if you're moderating posts and those kind of things. It's very time consuming. So, I had notes in my phone, or my other phone, about what I wanted to talk about today, and it was here and now it's gone. So, okay. So one of the things that I noticed was being discussed in some of the groups was, problems. Feel like most techs are pretty obvious about you'd be surprised. Hence, like I said, 64. And that's after the 50 I've cleared. You'd be amazed how many nail techs don't have anything on their page about being nail techs. Seriously. It seems like kind of a no-brainer to us, but it's really not. Okay, yeah, I seriously don't know why this is... Oh, somehow I got deleted. Okay, well, we don't want that. So, okay, so here's one of the things that's been talked about is discoloration on soak-off gel clients. For those of you who maybe don't care as much about the chemistry, the reason why soak-off gel works the way it does is because it's porous. So hard gel cures hard. And that's why it doesn't soak off at all, because it's non-porous. Acrylic soaks off because it's porous. So sometimes acrylic gets stained by things, but because it's acrylic, liquid and powder, it's a harder surface, so it's harder to penetrate to get the stains in. And also things aren't meant to flow through an acrylic nail. So in a soak-off gel, the system is designed to be porous so that solvents will get through, and they're designed to be porous at different levels so that the soak-off solutions can actually get through. So shellac is the most porous of them all, which is why it removes the fastest and why it doesn't last like a gel nail does, is because it still has some solvents in it. And when those solvents evaporate, it leaves intentionally behind pores for solvents to get into. Okay, well, and same thing with other systems, maybe are more porous in the color coat, but less porous in the top coat, those kind of things. So by its very nature, with it being more porous, it's going to be more likely to discolor. So one of the groups had mentioned the discoloration on light colors or French manicure. I think the picture she happened to post was shellac, which would make total sense. And that's one of those things that those of us who started with shellac and gelish in 2009 and 2010, we already dealt with this in like 2010. So don't necessarily argue about what's causing the discoloration until you've gone through a couple of really basic things, which is, have they gotten any new fabric garment? Any. A coat, new gloves, new jeans, a new purse, a new tote bag they use all the time. Anything that they're going to routinely touch. If so, that's what's staining their nails. Hands down. Like, seriously, the fabric dye, and it can make them, it doesn't stain them black, because black dye isn't black. Black dye has either a yellow undertone to it, or a pink undertone to it, or a brown undertone to it, which is why blacks don't always match. So, because they have different black dyes that are used, and none of those dyes are actually like black, because black isn't black from a color standpoint is all colors. Black actually isn't a color, it's all colors. So depending on what heavy base the black is, so sometimes the nails will discolor darker at the edge, and then it fades back a little bit. Sometimes it'll be the whole nail. Sometimes it'll be like a pinkish brown color. Sometimes it'll be a yellowy brown color. And the longer it goes, the darker it gets. And if you use polish remover on it, it might lighten a little bit, but it doesn't come off because it's in the top coat. So if you buff the top coat off the nail and the color comes off with it, then it is seriously most likely some sort of fabric dye. We've been talking about this and it's just par for the course with soak-off gels. The more soakable it is, the more likely it is to be stained. So for clients, like I have some clients who work in retail clothing. They can't help it. They have to unpack in the stockroom brand new clothes, which is horrible for your health, by the way, with the chemicals that are in the clothes when you make them. But that's beside the point. I did it for years too. So if you have somebody who's going to be in contact with new fabrics a lot of the time, use your whole system. Okay. So say you use shellac. Use shellac base, your color coats, your shellac top coat of choice. The shellac top coat that's Duraforce, or the original one, is less porous than Express 5. So you definitely don't want to be using Express 5 on those people. Just think about it. The faster it's designed to come off, the more porous it's going to be, the faster and easier it's going to stain. Smokers, same kind of thing. No Express 5 on smokers. No super highly porous top coats on smokers. Then, when you're all done with the complete system, then use that system's non-soak-off gel top coat as one last coat over the top. So if you're using shellac, use Brisa top coat. If you're using gelish, use whatever gelish's handed nail harmonies non-soak-off top coat is. Use a non-soak-off tack-free top coat like Shine On from Accents or something like that. Use something that is designed to not be porous. Colleen, what do I think about the new Duraforce top coat? I'll get to that as soon as I'm done with this thought. So use, now, a non-soakable top coat is going to be less flexible than a soak-off top coat. So you are going to be more likely to have some micro cracks. But micro cracks at 2 weeks is a whole heck of a lot better than discoloration at 4 days. So, and just use it really thin. All you're doing is protecting the top coat from the rest of the world. You're not protecting the nail. You've already done that with the complete system. So use a really thin coat of a non-soakable top coat. And then when they come in, remember, it's not going to soak. So you have to use a gray foam buffer or a white buffer block or something like that. Because you did it so thin, it's going to come off really fast. So you just need to buff to get that off, then wrap them to soak, and it'll come off just like normal, but it won't be discolored in the meantime. So that question gets asked like seriously all the time, all over the place. So now the Duraforce top coat. So far, I have all 3 top coats. I have Express 5, I have the regular top coat, and I have Duraforce. Here's how I do this. If I have someone who comes in and they have really damaged nails, then, and I'm doing shellac on them, then I do IBX, I do base coat, 2 coats of color, and Duraforce top coat. At least until I can get their nails grown out so they're not so bendy. I don't like using the Duraforce top coat if I don't have to, because it takes extra soak off time. So I don't use it if I don't have to. I use basically the regular shellac top coat for light colors and French manicures because I find that it yellows less than Express 5. Or anybody who I figure is probably going to go longer than 2 weeks. Yes, the Duraforce top coat is thicker. It is a lot like Brisa Light's Top Gloss. In fact, I'd be willing to bet that if we could afford the couple $1,000s to send it off to the lab, we would find out that if they chemically compared Duraforce top coat and Brisa Light top coat, that they're probably the same. That would be my guess. Coincidentally, they eliminated the Brisa Light system, and then ta-da, we have Duraforce. I find that interesting. So that would be my guess. So then on colors, or people who have naturally really strong nails, people that have 2-week standing appointments, those kind of things, I use Express 5 on them because they're not going to try and stretch it out. Or if it's somebody that I'm doing shellac on, the exact opposite. They're somebody that I know I won't see again for another 3 or 4 months until they have another occasion. For those people, I use Express 5 on them because they're going to soak off at home and I want it to come off really fast for them at home. So that's a shellac thing. Okay. So whatever your gel system is that you use, whatever it is, whatever, use the whole system. And if you're not using the whole system, use the whole system before you start trying to troubleshoot. It is almost impossible to cherry pick and then accurately troubleshoot. So use the base coat that's designed for your system. So, this is a perfect segue into my next idea that I thought of, which was use what you use and know it inside out. So, if you are choosing to use shellac, get CND shellac certified and know the system inside and out. Don't take one class and then conveniently forget everything that you learned so that you don't know how to apply it. If you choose to use accents, use accents. Take a class and know it inside and out. If you choose to use gelish, take a class, know it inside and out. If you choose to use LCN or IBD or Gel 2 or whatever you're going to use it, use the whole thing, and know it inside and out, upside down, backwards and forwards. And if you have a problem, then you can contact the company. Now, if you do that, Tina, I'll get to that in a second, actually, because the first show I did back, I think I talked about polygel. So, but I have more information now. So whatever you're going to use it. Use the whole thing. Then if you have a problem, you can work with the company. If that still doesn't solve the problem, or it's something like I talked about with the, like the discoloration thing, then you can solve it with a product also within your manufacturer's line. So, whatever you're going to use, if you use, yeah, hey, Dana Lynn, and hi, Liz. So I use shellac as an example, but you could do that with anything. If you use accents and you use the Luxio line and you are having discoloration on your French manicures because the person who's discoloring works in a purse factory. Ooh, banana bread, yum. Dana Lynn's making banana bread. Then you can contact your accents person and say, or look online and say, I need a non-soak off top coat. And if you use accents, you probably also use accents gels, which means you may already have a non-soak off top coat and that you can use a really thin coat of. So whatever you're going to use, product test different products, then pick 1 or 2 lines and use them. Now, that brings me to my next point, which is your product you choose to use isn't going to work on everybody, and that's okay. That's why we network with other nail techs in our area, because I use Tammy Taylor acrylic. That's what I use. That's what I like to use. As an artist, I like to use Tammy Taylor acrylic. Well, Tammy Taylor acrylic is an acid bond system, and it doesn't work on everybody. Some people work better with retention from C&D or whatever. So I know other nail techs in the area that use other products that if I get somebody in and I do their full set and I do their fill and I go through a couple of appointments and I can't get them to stop lifting or I can't get them to stop breaking or whatever, then maybe my product maybe I didn't do anything wrong. And if I'm using my full system on every single client, I don't have to second guess that. Because if I have one person who's lifting and nobody else is, and I'm doing the same things on everybody, then the difference is the client, not me. Because I'm using the same things on everybody, and I'm using the same steps, and I'm doing the same system. So then I can say, without having a bunch of headache and a bunch of problems and a bunch of whatever, I can go, for some reason, I guess my product just isn't the best product for you. So, right, Colleen? Colleen says, good to know. She always thinks it's your fault. I can say, I'm not having this problem with anybody else. And so since I do the same thing on you that I do on everybody else, I have to assume it's something that has to do with the product and your nails. So I'm going to refer you to Stacy, who uses C&D. Or I'm going to refer you to Val, who uses Elite, or I'm going to, know the nail techs, and I'm going to refer you to Elise because she uses C&D. And people aren't mad if you can help them. They're not back to Yelp just scrolling through people trying to find something, especially if they were referred to you. So, or I can say, obviously this product doesn't work. I use another product for gel that is a nice product that's harder than most other gels. We can either try that on you and see if that works better on you, or I can refer you to somebody else. And then they also don't feel like you're just trying to kick them out of the salon because you don't like them or whatever, little horns going on here. So definitely don't. What we do is part art and part technical. And I talked about this the other day. Use whatever you get the best results from you using. Use that. and use the whole thing. And then you'll get clients who want the product that you use that it works well on. In the name of customer service, you'll refer them to other people if you don't have a product that works for them. Those other people, if they have the same problem where they have a client who their product's not working on them, they can refer them to you. And so it's a nice camaraderie thing. And make sure that you make it really clear what products it is that you use so that people who are looking for those products be a part of the referral websites for those products. There's real advantages to just picking a product and using it. Now, if you've picked a product and you really like using it, but it's still lifting or it's still whatever, discoloring, breaking, chipping, whatever, then get your butt to some education, product specific for that product. It's that simple, you guys. People try and overthink this and overwork it, and just don't. Just try. And like, I try out, this was another post we talked about on a group. I try out gazillions of products all the time. I try out new things all the time. But you know what? I don't try them out on my clients who pay my bills. I try them out on my daughter, her friend. I put out a call for models for a $10 product charge, but I get to do whatever I want on them. And they have to report back to me what happens. Like, I try on myself, my toes, whatever. I try out new products all the time. But it takes me a really long time and a lot of testing before I switch over my paying clients to that, because my paying clients deserve me to use the best thing I have available for me to use on them. So they're not my testing grounds. The exception of art. I will test out some art stuff on my regular intense art people, but that's because they bring me intense art pictures and say, can you do this? And I say, well, I haven't done it before, but I have the stuff to do it, so we can try. Like, for that, it's different, because then I can take it off if it doesn't have anything to do with the nails that are underneath it. So talking about the new polygel thing from Hand and Nail Harmony, Gelish, whatever brand name they're doing it under. I think they're doing it under the Gelish name. I've gotten some great private messages. There's a lot they can't talk about it yet, but it is out in the UK. It's available in the UK. It's just not available in the States yet. And I have a video on one of last week's posts. I have a video from a Facebook Live broadcast. If you go to the shows, it's the first comment below the videos. I have a link to a video that was done at a trade show on Facebook Live. And it's a very interesting product. It's kind of like a gum paste gel. And it uses slip solution, which apparently smells like watermelon, I've heard. And that is not a monomer. It's just used, it's more like an alcohol, I guess. It's used just to make your brush slide around on top of the paste as you're moving it. And then you get it into place and you cure it in the light. Tina says it's probably hard gel with acrylic powder. I could see where chemically that could possibly be something really similar, because I did find out that it is not soak-off. So it's not a soak-off gel. It doesn't feel like a soak-off gel. It doesn't wear like a soak-off gel. The company's saying 21 days. The people who are testing have been saying that they've, in their tests, they've gotten way longer, but the company says 21 days. You know, I mean, I guess any enhancement is sort of tedious, right? I mean, it's definitely an enhancement system. It's odor-free, which is an advantage. It's a different thing. So, and there will be a market for this different thing. It may or may not be me. I don't know. I'm going to try it out. I've heard that in the US, there's going to be a small kit available for about $70 or so, which $70 into my R&D budget that I keep for the salon. That's probably something that's super new, that I'll try out. And yeah, I mean, it seems kind of tedious, but then again, I think a lot of products I don't use seem tedious, which is why I don't use them. You know, we use what works for us. So yeah, like $70 for the smallest kit is what it looks like it's going to be, which apparently is a kit size that they don't even have available in the UK. In the UK, the kit is $499 plus VAT. So, which is value added tax for those of you who don't know. So, it's 499 pounds plus VAT in the UK for a kit that has enough to do obviously lots and lots of nails, which if you've had a chance to try it and you know you like it, then that's obviously a decent investment. But if you don't, you just want to try it, then I wouldn't spend that kind of money. But what you can do is as soon as it's released, you can find a class. I'm sure they're going to be doing classes. Find a class that includes a trial kit with it and play with it with an educator and see what you think. Hand and Nail Harmony has some pretty decent education networks. So, you know, find that, or maybe we'll get to see in the rounds of nail shows this year, we'll get to see, some classes that are on site at the nail shows. Look at the nail shows you're going to and see if there's going to be a class. If there isn't going to be, ask the organizer, right? Liz says she can't wait till premiere. She'll check it out then. God, one of these days I'm going to get to premiere. It's hard because the kids' birthdays are always around premiere. Their birthdays are the 6 days apart at the beginning of June. So it's always around premiere. So until there's no more kids at home, then there probably won't be any premiere for me. Unless somebody wants to pay for them to fly down with us so we can go to Disney World at the same time. So I think that the Polygel looks interesting. I think they should have done a little more research into their name before they started using that name, because there's other products out there named Polygel. So I think that they probably didn't investigate that as much as they should have. But it's pretty interesting because, so I do traditional acrylic application. I do free edge and then I do nail body. And I know a lot of people who do reverse. I don't do reverse generally unless I'm extending the nail bed. Mostly because for me, it takes longer. It seems more tedious. I can get the smile line sharper with a traditional application for me than I can in a reverse, where I have to put the on and then I've got to go through with my file and sharpen up the reverse line so that then I can put the white on, and when I file it down, it'll be super crisp. I can get it more crisp in a traditional for me, but that's just for me. So what I found interesting was when I watched the Polygel video is that they used it for a reverse application and they used a cover pink. And I do have to say, and they were doing it over a tip in the video, but I've heard you can sculpt with it just fine. So I do have to say that I'm intrigued by the fact that it doesn't set up until you put it into the light, and it also doesn't move like a gel does or something like that. So I am kind of intrigued to see if I put a nail form on and I use the Cover Pink Polygel and I'm able to work with it for as long as I would like and be able to get that smile line with the slip gel as slip solution as crisp as I would like before I put it into cure, would that eliminate that need for me where then I could go through and do my white and get it perfect? Like, would that process actually save me time versus doing a reverse with a traditional liquid and powder system, because I have to spend that time taking the form off and sharpening the free edge, or not taking the form off and because I extended the nail bed and sharpening, you know what I mean? Like, would it save me that step? In which case it would actually be less tedious. I don't know. That's the artistic part, right? You guys, that's to each their own. Okay, so I talked about that. Oh, Kate says, I think it would be good for acrylic techs who want to move to gel because of the application. Yeah. And Tina says, new trend, 4D plastilin hard gel. It's like 3D hard gel, but thick gum creates 3D nail art, right? As I talked about in one of my episodes since I've been back, we as nail techs can't break things down into, is it acrylic or is it gel? Or is it gel polish anymore? We can't do that. There is literally everything from traditional nail lacquer all the way to liquid and powder acrylic monomer and everything in between. So we have to start just thinking like artists and choosing the medium that works best for us and using it all the way. And then that's how we market to our clients. So, on that note, we're talking about, on a Facebook group about how not every client is your client. There are clients who are never, ever, 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 ever going to pay more than $20 for a full set, $25. They're also never going to keep their nails on and come in and get fills like regular maintenance. And they're also never going to do their home care like we tell them to. And there's some people that aren't your client, okay? The vast majority of my friends aren't my clients. They go get their nails done somewhere else, either with another nail tech friend of mine, because we're all friends, or, and I'm not offended by that, or somebody who they're just never going to pay what I charge. I'm worth what I charge because of my years of experience and my education and the amount of products I have to offer and the service I provide and blah, 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 like all those things. But that doesn't necessarily mean that that's in everybody's budget, okay? So I am like, you almost can't sit down in my chair for less than $25 or $30. Almost. I do offer some like, just like quick polish changes and that kind of stuff that take 15 minutes and they're only like $15. But for that, I remove the polish that's on. I file to shape your nails. And if your cuticles are excessively wonky, I might use my file to hit to push that one cuticle back. And then I cleanse, base coat, 2 coats of color, top coat. Like for that, you get exactly that. Yeah, Tina says calculate your price as well. That's what counts, right? And so not everybody, I keep trying to relate it to every other industry in the world. Not everybody buys their clothes at Nordstrom. Some people buy their clothes at Target. Some people buy their clothes at Walmart. Some people could buy their clothes at Nordstrom, but it just ain't that important to them. They'd rather drive a nicer car and buy their clothes at Walmart. So everybody chooses the level of what they want to fit within the budget that they have, that they're willing to allocate to that thing. So maybe somebody lives in a $300,000 house and drives a $2,000 beater paid off car because that's how they afford the $300,000 house, because they can't have the $300,000 house and the brand new BMW. They can't afford both of them. And the house to them is more important than the brand new BMW. Some people live in a, crappy studio apartment downtown for $400 a month and drive a brand new Porsche because that's what's important to them. Some people eat it out at restaurants every meal because they don't like to cook. They just don't like it, so they don't do it. But the trade-off for that is they buy their clothes at Target, not Nordstrom. So not everybody is your client. So, and what your client will do has nothing to do with what you charge. What you charge is a combination of how much you want/need to make per hour, how much you deserve that based on what education you have, how much your overhead is, how much your products cost, how much time it takes you to do services, all of that. Like all of that is all a part of what you charge. How much your client's paycheck is not your business, and it doesn't have anything to do with how much you charge. Price your services through your potential client's wallet, not yours. So don't think about it as in how much you can afford. You sit down and figure out the math of your prices. You price accordingly, and you market to people who have an income level high enough that if it's important to them, they can pay what you're charging. Now, some of those people still may not pay what you're charging because it's not important enough to them. And some people who make less than that are going to pay your prices because it's literally the only thing they do for themselves and it's important to them. So you got to kind of get your brain around that whole thing. That's how you're successful. That's how you build a clientele. That's how you don't tear your hair out every day because you're having crazy client problem issues. And remember that when Tina says, think about which kind of clients you want to attract. Exactly. And think about things like this. This is not Field of Dreams. If you build it, he will come. That's not exactly how it works. You figure out your brand. Join University of Nails. Hi. You figure out your strategy. You figure out what prices you need to charge. You figure out that whole thing. And then you are opening a business. Businesses don't make money their first month. Many times businesses don't make money their first year. And in fact, in the United States, the IRS doesn't even bat an eye if you're at the 3-year mark and your business is still operating in the red. Wrap your brain around that for a minute. Most businesses fail within their first 3 years, and many of them fail in their first 3 years never having made a profit. Like I said, I want you to think about that because somewhere in the land of La La Land, people have been led to believe that you go to nail school and then you go rent a table and you do some clients and you make a profit and you make a living. That's not how it works. Renting a booth, owning your own salon, whatever, is a business, and it's not going to make money for a while. So maybe you're going to have to keep working as a bank teller 25 hours a week while you do nails 15 or 20 or 30 hours a week until you get to a point that you're making enough money doing nails that you can quit the bank teller job. That's what it means to open a business. Or you better have 6 months worth of savings in your bank account to live off of, to supplement the money that you're not going to make doing nails or hair or skin or whatever other thing for a while. Because building a clientele takes a while, even if you're really good at it. And even if you work really, really hard, and even if you are I just got out of nail school prodigy and you're doing rockin' nails, you're still looking at months to build a clientele at a bare minimum. Months. So you better have some money in savings. And if you don't, then maybe you should be going to apply at a salon or a spa that hires employee nail techs and honing your craft. Go work at, I hate to say it, but go work at a discount salon that's by your house and do $15 manicures, 40 hours a week. $10 manicures, 40 hours a week. Because you know what they will teach you? They'll teach you how to be fast and to be good. Then go out on your own when you've made some practice under somebody else's name, right? So my cheeks are very cheery today. Okay, so I think I've yapped y'all's ears off long enough. This is as long as it gets, about 50 minutes. So unless you guys have any questions for me today before we beat feet out of here, I'm going to do some furniture arranging in my house. And Nails by Carnita says that's exactly what I did. Good girl. Boy, I guess you're a girl. I don't know because I can't tell. But good person. Good nail tech. I'm going to do some furniture rearranging, and then I still have so many things to do down at the new office suite. I am going to have my shampoo bowl, I think, replaced. I got a free retail package I have to order. You're a girl. Okay, Carnita's a girl. Good girl. So I have to get that order placed. It was part of my move-in incentive. I got to get some stuff up on the walls, and I have to seriously wash some pedicure towels. So I like to do that late at night because then there's nobody left there, so I can use both washers and dryers. And there's a TV in the break room, so I can watch TV while I'm doing laundry and get on my laptop. So, yeah, I'm going to do that since you guys don't appear to have anything else for me. Join the University of Nails. Colleen says, congrats on the new place. I have a sink in my space instead of a shampoo bowl. Yeah, I'm just going to have them put a sink in. I like the sprayer from the shampoo bowl, but it sticks out too far, and that's where my table is, and so it's kind of crowding my mojo, and so it just needs to be a sink. I thought I could handle it. I can't. Waiting anxiously for my business cards and rack cards to arrive. My photo books arrived, and I don't think I have them here with me. I think I took them to the salon, so I can't show you. I'll try and find one and have it for Monday. Yeah, so then I'm going to go do some stuff that's still related to nails, and I will catch you guys on Monday. So please, one more time, in the groups on Facebook, go to the group, and instead of post, click search and enter in what you're thinking of, and it will pull up a list of posts that I've already posted in that group regarding your topic. Read through those. Then if you don't get an answer to what you're looking for, then post. Please and thank you. Those of us who are on 60, 70, 80, 100 groups, we appreciate it. We really do. That keeps us from wanting to tear our hair out and stop answering. Word. All right, so peace, love, nails, coffee. And I will see you guys on Monday. Same bat time, same bat channel. If you got something out of this video, subscribe on YouTube and share it with your friends. Thanks for joining me for the chat. You guys chatted with me today. That's so fun. I like it when I have people here. It's more fun.